Hi, I'm Brad Jansen, Senior Manager in the National Office. And today we're talking about segment reporting, and specifically, factors to consider when determining operating segments. The objective of segment reporting is to provide information that allows financial statement users to better understand an entity's performance, better assess an entity's prospects for future cash flows, and overall make more informed judgments about the entity as a whole. Segment reporting is intended to allow a user to see the entity through the eyes of management. And thus the presentation of the segment footnote is intended to look much like the information used internally by the entity. The first step when identifying operating segments is to identify the Chief Operating Decision Maker, or CODM. And this part is critical to determining proper operating segments. The CODM is a function that allocates resources and assesses performance of the entity segments. And in most organizations, this function belongs to the CEO or the COO. After the CODM is identified, the operating segments can then be determined. The guidance indicates that an operating segment is a component of an entity that engages in business activities, has discrete financial information available, and whose operating results are regularly reviewed by the CODM to allocate resources and assess performance. Determining the information that is regularly reviewed by the CODM can be a challenge. As indicated will tell you, the amount of data available today has increased significantly since this accounting guidance was written. There's a presumption that if a CODM regularly obtains information, whether in hard copy format, electronically, or even through regular meetings with managers, he or she is using that data in some way to make decisions. Another challenge may be when the CODM receives and reviews multiple sets of data. For example, one set of information organized based on product type, and another set based on geographical areas. The segment guidance includes a few factors to consider to determine which single set constitutes the operating segments. One of those factors is to focus on the underlying business activities, as dissimilar business activities are often considered a starting point when identifying operating segments. Other factors include determining which set of data is provided to the board of directors, as well as determining at what level within the organization segment managers are present. A few other data points to consider are the other organizational and operating data available for the company. For example, consider at what level budgets are prepared and reviewed, what information is presented on the website or in earnings calls, and how the company's organization chart is structured. Although all of these items are not directly identified as considerations in the accounting guidance, they often shed light on how the overall business is managed. So determining proper operating segments starts with the correct identification of the CODM. Once the CODM is identified, determining what information is regularly reviewed by the CODM to assess performance and allocate resources is then the basis for determining operating segments. Of course, once operating segments are identified, we still need to go through an analysis to determine reportable segments. This will include considering aggregation, as well as specific quantitative disclosure thresholds, and all of these items are discussed in detail in PwC's Financial Statement Presentation Guide, available on cfodirect.com.